Hi there, welcome to the channel. So I wanted to make a holiday video, a how to spend it video featuring some of my favorite companies online. Most of them are mom and pop stores, smaller stores. And I know it's getting closer to the shipping deadline, but most musicians, a lot of times will get money for Christmas or for the holiday time period, for Hanukkah or whatever, and you'll have your money and you won't get it until Christmas, so there's still time for you to shop afterwards. So that's what I'm hoping for. You might still be able to get your orders in time, but I wanted to just make a video, even if you're spending your Christmas money later, still be handy. Okay, so I wanted to start with a local business called American Guitar Boutique, and that's owned by Tim O'Brien and Mike Childress, both of whom are musicians themselves, so they know what's up. And Tim has actually designed amps before. He has a really interesting history that I find fascinating. He was out in California selling guitars to musicians that were going into the Guitar Institute. So he's got a great history and a lot of knowledge. He's fixed my guitars before, like set them up before my Les Paul Custom, which I never touch. I only have professionals touch that guitar. And right now my Fender Deluxe amp is being repaired by them. They're fixing the original power adapter or power cable. As far as like the end on it, it's broken somehow, short-circuited. So anyway, I think they're fantastic, and so I want to mention them. And I'm noticing on their Reverb Store here that they have really good feedback, so that means that they do a good job. And so I'm just kind of looking at their Reverb page here. They've got some nice, neat resonator there. It's a Dean resonator guitar in mahogany, and then they've got some nice looking acoustic guitars. It's just kind of a mix, a pedal or two, some speakers, but I know that he's got some really good guitars because I've been into a store. Let me see, electric guitars here, what we have, and he usually has some really good stuff. My computer's a little slow here. Yeah, he's got a couple of Ernie Balls. These BP Rose guitars are really nice. I've seen these in person, and I feel really bad. I think the owner passed away, and they're no longer in business. But man, those are nice. So he's got some really good stuff. He always has like really good stuff hanging on the walls too. Like it's not just the stuff you see in here. When you go in the actual shop, they've always got some really nice guitars, like hanging on the walls, boutique stuff. Okay, so yeah, some more like really interesting guitars here. G&Ls, LSLs. I know those LSLs are really nice. I've seen those in person, and they're really well done. So this is a really good store. I mean, he does the guitars. He's got pedals. And they ship, as far as shipping goes, I think they ship all over the country, no problem. They've got good feedback, and I can attest to them being like really cool guys, cool musicians, so I highly recommend that store. They also have this really, right now he's got a really cool, I think it's a Fender Master Reverb, or Super Reverb. Yeah. Here's the Super Reverb right here. It's a 66 blackface. I've got a 66 Deluxe. I would like to have that sitting next to it. Man, look at that thing. That's nice. Pretty decent price too. And it's got two of the original, that's probably all four of the original speakers, or at least two of the original speakers. They look like a couple of Oxfords, original Fender Blue Label Oxfords, if I'm not mistaken. They could be Utahs. But I think if they're like mine, I think mine are Oxfords. So yeah, and that's a ceramic driver on that one. So I highly recommend American Guitar Boutique. Let me go through this video again and see if there's anything else that I want to point out. The thing is moving so slowly. Yeah, lots of pedals. So yeah, check them out. Don't forget about them with your holiday shopping because they have a good Reverb Store. And if you happen to be in the Georgia, Alabama area, I highly recommend you check out their shop because he's always got some really good stuff. And who knows, you might get in there and get lucky and they'll make you a deal. Okay, so that was one of them. The other one that I'm excited about is, or I've been excited about in the past, is Build Your Own Clone. And that was how I sort of got my feet wet with soldering and like working on circuits. Was building a couple of guitar pedals. I built a germanium fuzz, a fuzz face, and I built a distortion plus. The fuzz face was like a Jimi Hendrix pedal, and the distortion plus was like a Randy Rhoads pedal. And those two sounded really good together. I just never used pedals, not with this amp. I was experimenting with a Ampeg amp with those that had a lot more power. That was a 50-watt amp. I never used them on the 18-watt. But I think the kits are excellent. They come, and you can see he's got all kinds of stuff going on. Oh, and the other thing he got into with these amp kits, and I really like my amp kit that I got, the GDS. But I was looking at this TMB kit here, which gives you a tone stack. Mine's just the one tone. This gives you a treble, middle, and bass version of the Marshall 18-watt. And it sounds like they're using the right kind of transformers to get that classic tone. A lot of the paper type, the paper layer wound output transformers, that's what's in mine, and it looks like they're using them as well. So yeah, it's currently out of stock, but it says you can notify when available. But anyway, this is a really cool company, and if you're looking to kind of get your feet wet with soldering and just kind of some awareness of electronics, I think that doing the clone pedal is a good way to start. And also, you can like use better components than what than what is typically in the pedals that you might buy commercially, like some of these cheaper pedals, or like an even famous pedal might be using stuff that's not as good as what you can do on your own. I know like a lot of to get that 60s sound, people use germanium transistors, and there's all sorts of capacitor choices and things like that. I mean, it goes on and on, modules, all kinds of stuff. And right here, I'm particularly interested in reverb right now, because my deluxe, like I said, is coming out of the shop with Tim at American Guitar Boutique, and that amp it does not have reverb. It's a Fender Deluxe Sans reverb. And so I've always thought of like having an outboard unit, like one of the Fender reverb units, but those things have gotten really expensive. And I wanted to like play around with something weird, and we'll get into that. But this spring reverb kit here at the Build Your Own Clone, I think it's out of stock, but I think I saw one over at either Reverb or eBay. So a lot of times if they're out of stock at these stores, like Build Your Own Clone or some of these like smaller stores, sometimes you can check their eBay store and they might have stock there, or the Reverb store. But he sells all kinds of stuff. He sells pots here, all kinds of things that you would need, capacitors, some tantalums. Those are cool. So that's what I mean. You can get like the tantalums, the germaniums, the stuff that's like obscure, hard to find, that tone junkies have learned, has a particular sound that they're trying to recreate, like maybe from the 60s or whatever. Oh, and here's a little Champ kit. I wouldn't mind building a little Champ, and it's only $269, starting at $269. I bet it goes up depending on what you do. But yeah, this company's cool, and from what I remember, they shipped quickly. Everything arrived as it should. So yeah, I'm into them. Build Your Own Clone. Let's see, what else did I find here? Oh, boosts and preamps. That was something I was looking at. They have like tons of boosts. A lot of their stuff is out of stock, but I'm sure if you contact them, you can get an update on like lead times and stuff like that. Okay, so the other one I wanted to cover was Byo Guitars. Build Your Own Guitars, and if you've watched this channel much, you've probably heard me mention them a couple times. I built their Flying V kit, which they no longer carry, and I think it might be because it's difficult to get consistency out of those like Gibson style kits. I would think if I was selling kits or manufacturing guitar parts, I would want to focus more on like Stratocasters and Telecasters, maybe even like a Les Paul Jr. type thing. But when you get into like Flying V's, Explorers, more complex woodwork, set necks, and just the necks in general, Fender style necks, you get more predictable outcomes. So I did have a great time building that guitar, and I don't regret it at all. But I can see why they discontinued that model, because mine ended up having some weirdness in the neck around the headstock. Wasn't done exactly, right. But I made the best of it, and it was a great experience. But I buy my wood tone stain from them. That's the main thing that I purchase from that store. But they've got all kinds of stuff. They've got some nice looking guitar kits if you decide to go the guitar kit path. I'm currently kind of moving away from guitar kits and going more for like the parts caster thing and assembling guitars with builders like Toby Russell. But they do have some nice stuff, and their prices are good, and they're really nice people. I've talked to them on the phone, and they just seem like they're really together people, and they're running a good operation. So I highly recommend them. And if you haven't done the kit thing yet, and that's where you want to start, that's a good way to go. Right here they have a custom shop Super Strat. That looks pretty cool. Kind of like a Charvel Kramer thing going. I guess more Charvel because it actually has a Fender style neck. And then here they show some of their wood tone pre-finished bodies. Those are really nice. So if you want to get the wood tone stain thing, but you don't want to actually do the work, you can buy the body already stained. They've got electronics and hardware, and they also carry the wood tone hardware, which I'm interested in. I might upgrade my block on my Strat, my Black Limba Toby Russell Strat. I might use this wood tone cold steel tone block. I don't think I would go for the whole trim because I really like the original vintage trim on a Strat. But who knows, maybe that cold steel block would be some sort of sustain or tone upgrade in some way. Here's the entire Holy Grail assembly. I just don't like the way it looks, honestly. I do like the saddles though. Who knows, maybe I'll look into it. But I just sort of like the original, the way it works. I'm just kind of hooked on it, and I can get it to set up properly. I'm sure this would work as well. I just, I'm nostalgic for that original vintage trim because I've been successful at keeping my guitars in tune with it. Okay, so then they've got some nice bodies here, some walnut Jaguar body on clearance for 99 bucks. That's a pretty good price. Grab that and have an interesting guitar for sure. I've always wanted a Jaguar. Nice. Okay, so yeah, Byo Guitars, and they have all the stains. I think they are the authorized dealer in America for the wood tone stain and wood tone products, because I believe wood tone is coming out of England. Could be the UK, I'm not sure where specifically they're from. And then I wanted to just give a quick little tip about Guitar Center, and this may not even be true anymore, but I've had really good luck buying cymbals from them. I don't know if I can show you this cymbal here. I think this one Ryan purchased. He had broken a couple of them and just showed up with this one, which I thought was really nice. When he was playing drums, he cracked a couple of these, and this is a 502 Paiste, which is a budget cymbal, but they're actually really good. If you ever run into 502s, I should do a video about that. I really like the 502 series. And this one is the upgraded 502 with the bronze, and it has the little, you can hear it sounds nice. But anyway, he got this for under 50 bucks. It was like 45 bucks or something. And these usually go for 100 to 150 on eBay, and everywhere I've ever seen them. They're usually more than 100. The regular 502s have been going for 100. This one went for 50 bucks on the Guitar Center used cymbals. So what I would do, like if you're looking for Paiste, and I also bought I bought this Zildjian from a pawn shop for 70 bucks. It's really nice too. And I have 502 hi-hats, which I think are really good. Those are cheap as well. And I think they may have some 502 hats on this actual page. So here I went to, see, that's a pretty good price for that Rude right there. I saw some Paiste Rude hi-hats that had a pretty good price. Shoot, maybe I didn't see that. And this internet is being super slow. But yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's some Paiste stuff. Now, like I said, it's kind of hit or miss, these types of things. But I just wanted to give people a heads up that there is good deals to be had on cymbals at Guitar Center. I mean, like, I've gotten pretty lucky. Before this, the cracked ones I bought, all of those were under 50 as well. A couple of other 502 rides, but those 502 rides did not have the regular bronze. He got this one for around the same money that I got the ones that did not, that weren't the upgraded ones. So he got a really good price on this one. But okay, so right here. Here's a 20-inch 101 for $49.99. The 101's not the greatest in the world. But like I said, you can find good prices on these. I think better than I've seen at most used outlets, including eBay. Definitely better prices than eBay. For whatever reason, pricey stuff is really expensive. The used stuff. Here's one for $50. It's a 101, and that would be a decent cymbal to have around. You know, I don't think the 101 is like anybody's favorite or anything, but you know, it's a ride cymbal by Peisty. So anyway, I just wanted to give people a heads up on that. I can't guarantee that you'll always find the best deals there, but I have gotten lucky there. And then I wanted to draw attention to this Destroy All Guitars page. This may be well known by everyone, but I recently discovered it when I was doing some searches for something or another. I can't remember what brought it up, but it's sort of a conglomeration of all these different manufacturers that make like these over-the-top incredible guitars. I've looked at a couple of them, you know, like super expensive boutique stuff. But it's fun to look at this and to see what people are doing, you know, with guitars. This is this Versol company. I don't know anything about them, but it's a cool name. And you look at their guitar. Wow, look at that, man! Look at that, $5,500 Versol Freya 6. And then I found this baritone guitar. It's a 12-string baritone guitar. It's just $8,000. Wow, that's neat looking. Nice looking stuff. And I can't really tell what makes it so expensive. Probably just really nice wood, and you know, a lot of craftsmanship. Yeah, it looks like they're using like just. Oh, this one has like 23 karat gold leaf as far as decorations go. The binding is maple binding. Wow. So just shoot the works on these babies. But that's neat. And I think it's a fun, I always liked looking at catalogs when I was a kid, like the Sears catalog. I always liked thumbing through those. And this is sort of the grown-up equivalent, you know, 21st century catalog, is getting online and just sort of looking through this kind of stuff. It's fun. And I still like to thumb through the catalogs that come in the mail before I recycle them. Here's a Banker Redtail. So it's like a Firebird copy. Banker Redtail. Wow, look at that. Ooh, those look cool. The Bankers look neat. Kind of Gibson-ish, like a Super Gibson. CTS pots, Mallory caps, pure tone output jack, Jescar fret wire, nitro finish, high glue construction. High glue is what I used on my Flying V kit, and high glue is awesome. It has something, it passes resonance really well. It's a really good glue for instruments. On sale, $21,000. This Ivy Junior Special, nice. $21,000. It's on sale. It's a good price. Might get one of those. Okay, and then another thing that I wanted to mention was this L & Co. snap circuit, especially if you have kids, or shoot, I think this is about my level of electronics knowledge. But I'm telling you, it's a really good way to get a little educational knowledge by putting these little snap circuits together. You can learn about parallel circuits, series circuits, just kind of like how electricity works, how voltage works, and they're fun. Kids really like them. Like my children have played with them. I bought them for my sons about, I don't know, probably up to 10 years ago when they were younger, and I was surprised at how engaging and fun it was for them and for me as well. And now I pulled it out for my 9-year-old daughter. I'd forgotten about it, and she's intrigued by it, and so is my 15-year-old daughter. So we've been playing with it and trying to, you know, I used it in school, like a little homeschool type thing. You can do a little electronics lesson. So yeah, that's another recommendation. Then we get to GDS amplification. And I really, really, really like GDS. I think they are a terrific company, and if you're interested in building a kit amp, I can't tell you how good these kits are. They're just really, really well done. And my amp, I've now had it long enough to, it's proven itself. I've had this amp, oh geez, probably 12, 13 years now. I think I built mine in like 2007-ish, 6-ish, something like that. So I've had it for a few years, and it's never had a problem. It's never been in the shop. I've replaced tubes on it, and every once in a while I'd find a cold solder or two. That was my mistake because I wired it and soldered it, and it's just been a workhorse, and it sounds incredible. It's by far the best amplifier I've ever owned, and it works for what I'm trying to achieve. And I can't say enough about it. They've got combos, they've got the heads, and you can just buy them, straight up. But I had a pretty well-known tech tell me that he thought the GDS were the best sounding 18 watts he'd heard. And I think mine was the GDS he'd heard. He'd heard several others. And when I brought mine in, he was like, that's probably the sweetest one I've heard. And he thought that they had done a really good job with making the transformers be very similar to the, I think they're basically reproductions. And the interesting thing is the way I found Great and Stucky's company, this GDS kit company, was on an 18-watt forum. Now, I haven't been to that forum in years, but that's how I found out about them. And what I learned is that they basically took an original 18-watt and deconstructed it, reverse engineered it. And so there's just a lot of passion. These guys, I can't imagine there's tons of money in amp construction. It's just a lot of passion. And he tells you all the things. It comes with a really, really nice manual that has photographs, and if you have enough skill to do this, you will have everything you need to build a fantastic amp. And I can't say enough about how much I love my 18-watt amp. I've never looked back. I've had that amp for a long time, and usually, I'll change out amps and experiment more because I'll be tone chasing. And between this and my Fender Deluxe, I feel very satisfied with the amplifiers that I have available to me to use on recordings and to play out live. Now, the next one, like I said, I've been a little fixated on reverb lately because I want to add reverb to my Fender sound and perhaps to this Marshall 18-watt. I've never been a huge reverb guy, mainly because the rock that I played is not really needed or necessary, but it's always fun to experiment. So this company here I stumbled into, I believe, via eBay looking for spring reverb, and they're called PrimoFX. BJFE is another name I've seen, the BJFE web store. But it's basically an effects pedal by this designer here. I think his name is, oh geez, I can't find his name. But he is the designer of the company. Bjorn Juhl, I think is his name. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his last name. Bjorn, I think I got, but Juhl or Juhl, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. But this is his company, and the main reason that I have been intrigued by him is like I said, I'm looking to add reverb to my situation here, and he had a really cool reverb pedal. I'm trying to find it here on the site. Oh, here it is. Okay, so he's got this reverb. He's got two of them. One of them is just it's called the Moody Sounds BJF Universal Reverb Driver Kit. It's $134, which is a really good price for a pedal like this. There is a lot of parts in this thing and a lot going on, and you get the enclosure and you get the outputs and everything. I mean, the RCAs and everything, RCA jacks. I mean, this CTS pots. So yeah, or maybe these are alpha pots. But anyway. There's money in this thing, and he's only charging $134 for it. And on this one, you connect it to your own reverb tank. You can do like the long reverb tank and do like the 2-spring, long decay, or you could do like a smaller, shorter decay, medium decay. You could do a smaller tank, kind of like what the Surfy Bear does. They have like one that's the full-size tank, and then they have a smaller one that's a smaller tank. Because basically I think theirs is just the circuit with the tank inside the pedal. And in this case you'd have a pedal and a separate tank. He also has one that is has the reverb tank included, which I found that interesting. And he's got one here on eBay, and I think on his site as well. It includes the Accutronics reverb tank, which I think is, you know, pretty darn cool. And then you would have everything you need right there in that pedal. This one's on eBay, and I know he has it over at his store as well. But I'm really interested in this. This looks cool, because then you would have outboard reverb in a pedal footprint. Yeah, that's neat. So this is a company I'm going to look into, and maybe somebody out there has had experience with them, and they will comment you know, on it. And then the other one that I've had really good luck with, and I know everybody knows about these guys, is the Stratosphere. They've done me really. They've done a good job with shipping things out on time. The items being exactly as described, that kind of thing. If it's new, it comes in a package, and there's no, you know, nothing odd going on. So I've got enough confidence now. I would actually buy like one of these Gibson shell bodies, you know, where it's just the everything stripped on the guitar, and you kind of add the parts yourself. I would feel confident enough to do that based on the interaction I've had with them. And I've thought about doing it. I just don't know if it makes sense monetarily. It seems like the kind of thing that would be great for a luthier type that has a bunch of spare parts laying around, like bridges and pickups. And if you build guitars long enough, you start to accumulate that stuff. I've got some of that stuff as well. But I'm not sure if anybody else knows, you know, if it makes sense. I think it would make sense if you bought the body and you had all the stuff. But if you're going to try to buy the body and then buy the parts, it seems like it would come in at around the same price as you know, a completed guitar. But I don't know for sure. But I've always been curious about that, especially with the Gibsons, how that would make sense. But it would totally make sense if you had a bunch of parts laying around that you you know, could use for different projects. So yeah, those are my recommendations that I've come up with, that I think you know, may be able to find a few things for the holidays. The other thing is that I wanted to make sure to say I don't know for sure that you'll get those awesome deals on the cymbals that I got at Guitar Center. That could have changed, who knows. And they're going through some more turmoil with bankruptcy and all that kind of stuff. I've seen lots of videos about that on YouTube, about Guitar Center going bankrupt or whatever. And I don't know much about it, not that interested in it, you know. It's just another one of those big, huge stores. But it seems like there is a way to win every once in a while there with some of the used gear. And it could be the same with guitars and stuff like that. I don't know. Might be some good deals to be had there as well. But I wanted to just go over it again. It's American Guitar Boutique, the PrimoFX company, BJFE, I believe it's called. Moody Sounds, the Stratosphere. Our friends over at Build Your Own Guitar with the wood tone stains and their guitar kits. Let me see, who else did I miss here? Build Your Own Clone, the pedal company, and that's where I started with doing electronic. All right, so in closing, I just wanted to encourage everyone to check out some of these links and some of these stores that I mentioned. And some of them are friends, and some of them are just companies that I've used and had a good experience with, and just wanted to pass along the information. I hope everyone out there has a great holiday, and just remember, you don't have to spend money or buy things to have fun on the holidays. So if you're feeling broke and getting bummed out, don't worry, you know, things will get better. You don't have to have money to have fun. Sure does help, you know, if you're a musician, buy things, but ultimately you're going to get the stuff that you need, you know. Don't worry about it. Have a great holiday and don't worry about all that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to get back to recording the guitars. I had a medical procedure done, which slowed me down. Nothing major. It was actually just a checkup type thing. But it was just enough to throw me off my game. So anyway, we'll be back at the guitars next week. And thanks again for watching. And I hope everyone has like a safe, wonderful holiday season. I know it's been a tough year. So keep your chin up and see you next time.